In the rugged, isolated landscape of Norway's Ice Valley, a chilling discovery was made. A woman burned beyond recognition, surrounded by strange artifacts. This is the story of the Isdal Woman, a mystery that has baffled investigators for over half a century. Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Join us as we peel back the layers of this perplexing enigma and explore the chilling details that have kept the Isdal Woman's case unsolved for decades. On November 29, 1970, a crisp autumn day in Norway, Professor Osborne Sjosted and his two daughters were hiking in the scenic Isdalen, also known as the Ice Valley, near the city of Bergen. The picturesque landscape was a popular spot for nature enthusiasts. Little did they know, they were about to stumble upon a scene that would forever be seared into their memories. As they trekked through the valley, they noticed something unusual. A small fire pit nestled amidst the rocks. As they approached, a horrifying sight met their eyes. The remnants of a fire, a scorched suitcase, and lying beside it, the partially burned body of a woman. The discovery sent shockwaves through the small community. News of the macabre find spread like wildfire, and soon the quiet town was buzzing with theories and speculation. When the police arrived at the scene, they found more than just a burnt suitcase and a woman's remains. The full extent of the horror was laid bare. Her clothes were not just singed, they were deliberately burned, and any identifying labels had been meticulously removed. The only things left on the woman's person were a few personal items: a half-empty bottle of Danish schnapps, or strong liquor, a pack of cigarettes, a lighter, a comb, a toothbrush, a towel, a nylon bag, a pair of nylon pants, woolen stockings, a brassiere, and underwear. Of particular note was a handwritten note found in one of her pockets, adding another layer of mystery to this already puzzling case. In the days following the discovery, 2 additional pieces of paper were found in her luggage, along with an array of women's clothing, including hats, scarves, and gloves. One of the papers was a receipt for a room at a hotel in Stavanger, dated November 23, 1970. The other was a list of names and addresses, which included several foreign destinations. And to further complicate the puzzle, the belongings of the woman hinted at a life lived under false pretenses. Among her things were several passports, all bearing different names and aliases. One passport listed her nationality as British, while another identified her as American. So who was this woman? Why had she concealed her identity? What had led to her untimely demise in the isolated Ice Valley? For the police, the task of identifying this mysterious woman became a race against time. As weeks turned into months, they were eager to bring her loved ones answers. First, they turned their attention to the clothes she had been wearing, hoping they might hold a clue to her identity. The garments were examined for manufacturing labels, anything that could tie them to a particular store or brand. Perhaps a shopper who had seen the woman might recognize her attire and come forward with information. Every piece of evidence was a potential lead, every scrap of fabric a potential witness. But the most intriguing piece of the puzzle might have been the items found in the woman's luggage. Here is a closer look at some of the key artifacts discovered with the woman in the Ice Valley. When investigators sifted through the contents of her suitcase, they uncovered a small collection of personal belongings that hinted at the woman's meticulous nature. Among these items, 2 particular objects stood out: a compact lipstick and a hand mirror. These everyday items, taken together, painted a picture of someone who paid attention to detail, someone who cared about their appearance and wanted to be prepared in any situation. The lipstick suggested a woman who'd like to make a statement, perhaps a touch of red to complete her look. The mirror implied a person who took pride in their appearance, wanting to ensure they looked their best. Taken individually, these objects might seem insignificant, but when considered together, they offer a glimpse into the kind of person the Isdal woman was, a puzzle piece in the larger mystery of her identity. These mundane objects were now part of a complex web of clues, each leading investigators deeper into the labyrinth of the Isdal woman's secrets. However, despite the abundance of physical clues, the identification of the woman remained elusive. Her fingerprints failed to match any records, and the laborious process of comparing her dental records to missing persons across Europe yielded no results. It was as though she had vanished without a trace, leaving behind only a collection of possessions and a whirlwind of questions. The investigation hit a wall, and the identity of the Isdal woman remained a tantalizing enigma. In a desperate bid to crack the case, the authorities reached out to Interpol, hoping that an international perspective might shed light on the baffling case. But even the vast resources of Interpol proved fruitless. The woman's fingerprints were not on file, and her features, unfortunately, were too battered to create a composite sketch. It was as if she had somehow slipped through the cracks of global records, leaving behind no trace of her existence. With traditional avenues of investigation exhausted, the team was forced to take a step back and reevaluate the clues they had overlooked. Perhaps the answer lay not in who she was, but in what she had been doing in the days leading up to her death. The next lead came from an unexpected source: the coded notes, hidden among her belongings. The notes were a series of seemingly random numbers and letters that baffled investigators for years. However, when Norwegian intelligence finally cracked the code, the message was both intriguing and perplexing. The decoded text contained a list of dates and locations across Europe, suggesting that the woman had been on the move. But why was she traveling? And who was she meeting? The cryptic nature of the coded messages only added to the puzzle, offering a tantalizing glimpse into the woman's life without providing concrete answers. In the absence of a clear motive, investigators were left to speculate. Could the woman have been involved in espionage? Perhaps a secret agent caught in a dangerous game of international intrigue? Or was there a darker, more personal reason for her actions? The thought of the woman leading a double life sent ripples of intrigue through the small Norwegian town. The sleepy community was suddenly thrust into the spotlight, grappling with the realization that such a chilling mystery could unfold in their midst. Then there was the question of how she died. The official cause of death was ruled a combination of carbon monoxide poisoning and a sleeping pill overdose, but the circumstances surrounding the fire were suspicious. Had she set the blaze herself before consuming the pills? Or was the fire deliberately set by someone else? Each theory raised more questions, deepening the enigma of the Isdal woman's demise. The lack of answers fueled speculation, turning the quiet town into a hub of conspiracy and conjecture. People began to whisper theories, each more outlandish than the last, and the truth remained frustratingly out of reach. The autopsy report revealed more grim details. The woman was between 35 and 40 years old, around 165 centimeters tall and of average build. She had shoulder-length brown hair and was likely a brunette. Interestingly, it was noted that her nails were well manicured, suggesting a certain level of care and attention to detail. However, despite these insights, the report also highlighted what was not known. Her fingerprints were non-identifiable. Her dental records were inconclusive, and the state of her face prevented any accurate description. It was a frustrating reality for the investigators, a stark reminder of how little they truly knew about the woman who had become the focus of their investigation. In the years following the autopsy, the case of the Isdal woman remained dormant, gathering dust in the archives of Norway's polity, a testament to the limitations of forensic science at the time. But the passage of time has not diminished the mystery. With the advent of modern technology, the case has been reopened, offering a glimmer of hope that what once seemed unsolvable might finally be unraveled. The application of modern forensic techniques, such as DNA analysis to the Isdal woman case, offers a beacon of hope in an otherwise perplexing and frustrating investigation. Although the passage of time has undoubtedly made the extraction of usable DNA difficult, if not impossible, the attempt itself speaks volumes about the tenacity of those seeking justice or closure in this case. By applying the latest scientific methods, investigators are able to leave no stone unturned in their pursuit of the truth. Even if the results are inconclusive due to the degradation of the DNA over time, the effort serves as a powerful reminder that the search for answers never truly ends. A further intriguing aspect of the modern investigation is the use of isotope analysis of the woman's remains. Isotope analysis focuses on the variations in the ratios of different forms of elements, particularly hydrogen and oxygen, found in human tissue. These variations can provide valuable information about the geographical origin of the individuals. For instance, the ratio of hydrogen isotopes in a person's hair can reveal whether they have been primarily consuming water from a specific region. By examining the isotope composition of the Isdal woman's remains, investigators may be able to narrow down her possible origins, potentially leading them to places or populations she had connections to. And now for a very important question. What do you think happened to the Isdal woman? Let me know your theories in the comments section below. Your thoughts might provide an interesting perspective on this baffling case. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. Thank you for watching.